Dan, on your site, I think you have a beat sheet that you offer. It's like a PDF or...
When people buy my book, I offer a worksheet, a story map worksheet that they can use to map out their own pilot, for example. And what makes my book unique, Story Maps TV Drama, the structure of the 1-hour television pilot, is that it offers the first detailed beat sheet for television. There's been a lot of books about feature screenwriting which offer that paradigm, that kind of Sid Field paradigm. He's the one who really started it. And no one had yet done it for TV, and I kept getting clients asking me, well, do you have a story map for TV? And I went out there and looked, and there wasn't one, so I decided to make one. But I decided to develop it from watching great pilots, great shows, and from reading produced pilots, even some that weren't, that didn't make it to series, you know, stuff that was going around Hollywood that I could get my hands on that had actually sold. So I developed this beat sheet. It's broken down into acts, it's broken down into page ranges. I give you examples of the page ranges of many pilots, like the Breaking Bad pilot, if you read the actual script. The teaser was 2 pages. Act 1 was 8 pages. Act 3 was 6 pages, you know, just something hypothetically. And I break down where in those acts were those specific beats, things like the first trial or first casualty, or the end of Act 1 turn, or the midpoint, or the assumption of power. And I'm getting a lot of people saying that they love it for that reason, that this was the first time they found a beat sheet for television, so it's giving them a roadmap to write their script. It's giving them that chassis of the car to put their details inside. And I've started actually getting produced writers telling me that they're using it as well. I just had a producer from HBO Latino who lives in Mexico City call me and say that they're using it now for their show that's in the 4th season on HBO Latino. Oh. And that was really cool. That was really exciting to hear, you know. So people are really using my beat sheet and my paradigm.
Excellent. Can you share 1 or 2 other tips from the beat sheet?
It's up to the writer how to break it down. You may do a teaser plus 4-act structure. You may do a teaser plus 5-act structure. If you're writing a 30-minute script, you may do 4 acts. You may do a teaser plus 2 acts. It really depends on you. The best way to know how you should structure your script and how you should break down the page ranges, you know, the timing basically of that script, is to watch shows that are similar to yours. They tell the story in the same way that you're going to tell your TV series, okay? And so outline those shows as you watch them and see how they break up the acts. If it's a commercial-driven network, like a broadcast network that has commercials, a lot of those act breaks are going to correspond to commercial breaks, but not always, and not always in the script. So if you can get your hands on the actual screenplays for pilots, that's great as well.
How could someone get that?
There are, if you just do Google searches, you will find those. There's a site named Tracking Board where they have a number of downloads. For features, around Academy Award time, each studio has their Academy Award nominated scripts, or nominated for WGA awards and such. For awards consideration, you can download those PDFs. TV is a little bit harder to find, but they are out there. If you go to forum sites, maybe like the Blacklist site, for example, you will find people who will have these scripts and they can send you pilots.
The beat sheet, is it just for the pilot, or is it for the entire season?
It's up to you. That's actually a good question. There's a difference between a premise pilot and a 3rd episode pilot. A premise pilot is a pilot that takes the entire length of the script to set up, and it's more of an origin story of that character. So we're starting more at the beginning. Like, for example, if it was Scandal, we might, if it was a premise pilot, we would start with Olivia Pope, like in law school or in college. And then we would follow her over the years to the point where she opened her own firm. Or maybe you would wait until the end of season 1 for her to open her own firm, okay? But what they actually do is a 3rd episode pilot, which is the structure of the pilot uses the same structure that the, for example, 3rd episode of the series would use. So it uses the same structure as every episode going forward. And that's your decision as a writer. But in the example of Scandal, she's already a Washington, D.C. fixer. She's already really successful. She already owns her own company and she has her own team. She even knows the president at this point. So they decided to start the series late in her life. You know, she's not that old, but late in her professional life, to the point where she's already on the ground running and a seasoned professional. And that was a specific choice that Shonda Rhimes made for that series. You can use the beat sheet to structure your pilot very specifically. You can define the signpost beats, you can define the core elements that make your character and your series unique, and you can plot them out in the act structure that you're going to use. And you should have a template show, inspirational show that you're using that uses the same structure that you would like to use. So for example, if you're using a show that has a teaser plus 5-act structure, on the beat sheet, it's broken down in teaser and 5 acts. So you will use that as an outline template to beat out your particular pilot. It's up to you if you feel that your series should use this same structure in ensuing episodes, or the pilot should stand on its own as a premise pilot, as its own story that's not quite going to use the same structure. These days in the industry, they like more the 3rd episode pilot, where the pilot is written like subsequent episodes of the series. So that's kind of thing that they like to see more, because they know what it is. So they give you that question, well, what is this series? What are we going to watch week to week? Well, you could say, well, the pilot is written in the same structure that each episode will be written in week to week.